If you live in the Rio Grande Valley, you've probably wondered about the water in those drainage canals. I mean, we all have. Well, for the first time, a major scientific study is giving us some real, hard answers. It's drawing a direct line from our communities straight to the Laguna Madre. So let's break down exactly what these scientists found.
And what the researchers found, it wasn't just that bacteria levels were a little bit elevated. No, they found contamination that completely blows past the state's safety limits. We're talking 40, even 60 times higher than what Texas considers a red flag.
Just let that number sink in for a second. 60 times. Not 60%, but 60 times the level that the state says, whoa, hold on, we have a problem here. That's the sheer scale of the contamination discovered in some of these drainage systems. It's just staggering. So you have to be asking, how in the world did we get here? How are numbers like that even possible? Well, it all starts with a really groundbreaking piece of research that decided to look where, frankly, not enough people have looked before with this kind of scientific rigor.
This all comes from a 2021 study by Navarro and his team, and what makes this so critical, especially if you live in the valley, is that it's the very first study to scientifically map the entire journey of pollution from our neighborhoods all the way out into the Laguna Madre. It proves these aren't just local ditches, they are, for all intents and purposes, pollution highways.
And to really get why this study is such a big deal, you got to look at the bigger picture in Texas. A shocking 88% of the state's rivers and streams are totally unassessed. We just don't have data on them. I mean, we've basically been flying blind. So when this study took a hard, focused look right here in the valley, it was doing something pretty rare. And wow, it immediately found some really serious problems.
Now, to connect all these dots, the scientists couldn't just, take a few water samples here and there. They needed a whole new way of looking at things. They needed a tool that could see the entire system all at once.
And they built one. It's a fancy term, Cyberinfrastructure, but the best way to wrap your head around it is to think of it like a Google Maps for pollution. It's this incredibly powerful digital tool where they could stack layers and layers of different environmental data all in one place. That way, they could see exactly how everything was connected.
And this is exactly what they layered on their map. They plotted out the locations of colonias and their thousands of septic systems. Then they added in all the landfills, all the wastewater discharge points, and huge agricultural zones. And on top of all of that, they overlaid the actual water quality data. So for the very first time, they had a complete, dynamic picture of the entire watershed. Okay, so with this powerful new map in hand, what did they actually find? Where is all this pollution coming from? Well, the answer turns out to be it's coming from a lot of places, and they are often literally stacked right on top of each other.
First, let's just zoom out and look at how the land is used. Over half the area, 53%, is for crops. Another 13% is urbanized. Now, both of these are what scientists call non-point sources of pollution. That just means that when it rains, the runoff from these huge areas carries all sorts of contaminants like bacteria and fertilizers right into the drains.
And then you have this number, 9,170. That is the total number of on-site sewage facilities, septic systems, that the study mapped inside these drainage areas. And the research points out that a lot of these systems, especially in older colonias, are probably failing and leaking raw sewage into the ground.
And this table? This is where it all comes together. It makes the problem crystal clear. Just look at the two main drainage systems, the Hidalgo/Willacy Main Drain and the IBWC North Floodway. You can see they each have over 4,500 septic systems, but that's not all. They also have wastewater outfalls, landfills, and hundreds of colonias all draining into the very same channels. It's just layer after layer of potential pollution, all concentrated in the same place.
So here's the crucial part. This pollution, it doesn't just sit in the drains forever. It all flows somewhere. It has a final destination. And that destination is a place that's not just vital to Texas, but it's a globally rare, precious ecosystem. We're talking about the Lower Laguna Madre. This isn't just any bay. It is one of only 5 hypersaline lagoons on the entire planet. It's the nursery for the fish in the Gulf. It's been the backbone of our state's fishing industry. And it's an absolutely critical stop for millions of migrating birds. This is what's on the line.
And listen, this isn't some far-off threat we have to worry about in the future. The damage is happening right now. The state of Texas has already officially listed the Lower Laguna Madre as an impaired water body. And the reasons why? The very same things this study was tracking: high bacteria levels and low oxygen.
So after building this incredible digital map, After identifying all the sources of pollution and after seeing where it all ends up, the study was able to draw one final, really powerful conclusion. It could pinpoint the biggest problem areas with scientific certainty.
It finally answers the question that everybody has been asking for years. With limited time and limited money, where do we need to focus our attention first? Which of these drainage systems are doing the most damage?
And here it is, the verdict, straight from the science. The study identifies the Hidalgo/Willacy Main Drain and the IBWC North Floodway as the two main pollution highways flowing into the Lower Laguna Madre. Period. These two systems have the worst combination of dense pollution sources, and they carry the biggest pollutant loads.
So what this research does is it gives us the map. For the first time, it shows us the specific pathways that need to be fixed, the ones that need infrastructure investment, that need policy changes. The science has identified the highways. So the question for all of us here in the Valley is, how do we start putting up some roadblocks?